fire in the hole. Yeah, that recoiled it up, right up. All right. All right, I'm here with Suarez International with Josh and Paul. We got some custom Glocks here by Suarez International. We got a Glock 34 and a Glock 21, and we're gonna go through how to fit them in the grip insert. We're gonna use a 17 Gen 3 grip insert for this Glock 34. One of the reasons why is because the finger groove and it fit the back strap really nicely. You fit the gun into it and you make sure it doesn't rock, and you do want to fit the grip insert to the gun. The 17 Gen 3 don't necessarily work with the 21 very well, and we'll talk about check and fit form and function with the grip insert. But both of these are customized Glocks from Suarez International, 10mm and 9mm. We're going to test it in accuracy and repeatability today. We're going to do a 15 and a 25. We'll probably even show you a 50-yard test. If we have time, we'll get to the 21 today. If not, watch for the video another time for the Glock 21. What you guys tell us about your guns?
Yeah, this is our custom long slide 10mm. This particular one has the RMR footprint. This is a 17.4 stainless steel slide, so it's much more durable than a standard Glock slide. This is a true 6-inch barrel Glock. I did a grip reduction on this frame so it fits my hand a little bit better. The standard Glock 21 frames are or 20, they're very fat. So grip reduction, full stippling package, our trigger, slide internals, all the internals are done up, our sights. Done a little bit of testing, so we've gotten extremely good accuracy out of this gun so far.
I love the Suarez plate in the back. We love the Suarez plate. We'll get a zoom of that here in a minute. Love the optic. The fit in the hand is much nicer with that grip reduction, and I love that stippling. This actually fits my hand very nicely. I love it in the 10mm in the Gen 3, and this never came with a 10mm in the Gen 3. Is that correct?
Not in the long slide. Basically, that was the Glock Model 40.
Yes, it would have been the 40 was the long slide version. You would have only been able to purchase it in the Moss configuration, which was the plate mounted system from Glock from the factory. As you know, if you know of us, you know we are not fans of the plate mounted system, so we've spent, I don't know, the last 3 years or so working on development to getting this long slide 10mm down.
Nice. I just got to say, aggressiveness of all this, it's really nice.
This is my actual custom. It's actually Glock 34 and 9mm. This one has our newest offering, which is an EPS milling, where you can actually co-witness it with standard height sights instead of having to go to higher suppressor heights for the RMR platform. This went with the EPS cut. This is also a 17.4 stainless slide. This has all of our MP3 slide internals. This gun is fully tuned up. I use this as my competition gun, shooting USPSA and limited carry optics.
And so watch for more videos with these guys, and we're going to test more of their guns as things go forward and into next year with the Suarez boys. Right now we're going to do the 10mm. This is custom barrel, custom slides, all customized.
Yep, we're running it with a KKM barrel. You'll either get a 6-inch factory Glock barrel, or you can order it with a KKM 6-inch barrel. Other than that, we put a 26-pound recoil spring in there, and that's just to not only handle the recoil of the 10mm coming out of that long slide, but to also help save that frame and extend its essentially lifetime.
Let's see what she does. Yeah, so we're checking the grip insert to the gun, and you can see this grip actually contours that back tail right, or the back beaver here. I don't need to relieve it for the beaver for length here. They had removed one finger groove in the front. That's not going to be a problem. The top finger groove fits very nice. This doesn't rock or roll, even with the stippling, and then you can hold it in the grip insert, and it feels very snug. If you put the other insert on it too, you can check the other side, and you check the other side in the same way. Once again, it feels solid in the hand, and I can wiggle this and it feels solid, so it locks together. And then you check both inserts onto the gun, squeezing both inserts on the gun, like if it was in your hand, and then you move in it, and you can feel it doesn't rock or roll in the insert. It feels like one solid part, and that is very critical. That's how you'll do a grip fit test, even on a custom Glock that has that stippling and modification, or a grip reduction. As he said, this had a grip reduction on it, so you needed to fit it to the grip insert of that best fits. And grip inserts are meant to be modified, and even if it's not an exact fit, a lot of times the gun will settle. You may need to do more settling rounds. Be cautious on how tight you tighten it, and be cautious of how the magazine releases, and some other features in our notes and tips manual. But that's what you're looking for. We're going to set her in the Ransom Rest to see what happens. Hey. Oh, Gunsite in the background. Love the sound of freedom. washers, start knives. All right, I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. I'm gonna wiggle the barrel as I tighten the ABC. Just a little, kind of an extended finger. You can even do a one finger snug, about as snug as you can with one finger. I'm kind of moving that around a little bit. That's about it. Trying to achieve equal tension between all three knobs. Trying to achieve about the equal gap all the way around. It's not uncommon for the back to get a little closer, and that'd be it. And there we have a couple dry fire tests. I'll get the trigger adjusted. We'll be good to go. A couple things to think about on adjusting the manual trigger. You got a trigger safety here you need to enact. Typically the trigger bar between the Ransom and the Rest is a good position at a 40-degree angle or so. I like to keep the shoe in line with this as much as possible. And on revolvers, you want the screw as high in the slot as possible, the finger as low as you can. So you could turn this around to maximize travel. So you could do something like that. But for today, we're going to just go ahead and keep it in line about right there. We're going to about like that and rack it. Typically when you do, sometimes the trigger comes forward, just like it did there. That's right. Now you can see the safety is being enacted. So I kind of like that position. I'm going to snug it. I'm going to snug it there. Appears the safety is being enacted, and I'm going to dry fire. And there you have it. We're going to verify it pushes forward, okay? So it hasn't pushed forward. I'm going to verify from the tension of the trigger that that'll push that forward, because when it auto cycles, you want to make sure that releases that trigger. I'm going to dry fire again, and then make sure when this racks, it pushes that forward freely, okay? With the remote trigger, there's a spring return. With the mechanical trigger, you absolutely want to make sure you have enough poundage, especially with a competition trigger or a Smith trigger like the Suarez machine, the Suarez gun, that it has enough trigger poundage to push that trigger finger forward. It has to be at least 3 pounds or more. If you're under a 3-pound trigger, you will be recommended to get the remote. So now that we've dry fired a few times, we've tightened the ABC knobs, we're ready to align this to our targets. We're going to align it to our target, clamp it, and do our first selling round.
On the battery.
Alrighty, using the trigger bar today. You guys know me, I like my remote, but this is a Suarez International Combo Rest. It has kind of been refurb, checked out, and we're gonna run her through the paces today. 10 millimeter Suarez International Glock long slide. First few shots, settling around, fire in the hole. All right, we hit the register at 50 yards. We're left 10 o'clock on the 9 ring, you would call it, and it looks like it picked it up at 11:59 velocity. All right, round 2. Right on top of that. Round 3. Split the differences. In round 7. Same hole. In round 8. When this go cold, we'll go down range, see what that looks like.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down range, Tom. Did you push that one off?
I did.
We're cold. Walking down range. All right, first 8 rounds, settling shots. 7 of the rounds, 10 millimeter. Look at that hole size. You're looking at 1.5 inches. Boy, it's one jagged hole though. About 1.25 inches. We know the gun was still settling. Here you go. Our first round was right on the rim. And of course, starting out today, I didn't even turn on the target camera, but Tom got it on his camera. So there's the first few settling rounds. 10 millimeter, just arm score, nothing fancy. Suarez already said that gun likes a heavier bullet, 200 grain with a little hotter round. We're shooting a 180 grain, so we know it's not indicative to that. There's that flyer round up there, so not really even worth measuring that. And our 50 yard is probably a little strung out as well. So I'm not even gonna go down to 50 right now, but you're looking at about 3 inch, 3.25 at the 25. We're gonna try precision 1, hopefully it's precision. Dude, this is not an ammo they typically run through that gun, so we're kind of curious what it'll do. Everybody's on record?
Yeah.
First round, fire in the hole. Just left of bullseye at the 8 o'clock position again. Didn't fly as far left. 11:52 on velocity. Round 2. Just above that. 11:60. Okay, round 3.
All right, getting to the right on the 50.
Oh, gotcha. Round 4. Round 5. We went from 11:45 to 11:68. A lot of velocity difference on this one. Round 6. Alrighty. Round 7. And round 8. That was 11:20 again. There you have it. 8 rounds.
Better group. It's just
Definitely a better grip than the Winchester.
Yeah,
But
the
whoa,
ranges.
1196 on velocity. Have a 100-point jump, but that's a huge difference. 1196 on velocity. A lot of variation on that velocity. Yeah, not impressive at all. Let's go down range and see what we got.
you can see that looking beautiful down range.
All right, almost one jagged hole at the 15 here. And boy, you're looking at 3/4 maybe. You know, it's under 3/4. If I went to 3/4, I'd say a little over 3/4 center to center. And with that other round up here, a little larger than that. So maybe we can call it a 1 inch. And for you at home, let's just look at the 1 inch. There you go, 1 inch by 1 inch. So we'll call that a 1 inch circle. And with these two rounds over here, that's quite impressive, almost one jagged hole. And we clearly know, watching the velocity, that's clearly velocity change. What's that one there for? Well, what the hey? We're gonna act like that one don't exist. Okay, ignore the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
That must be like, who loaded that ammo? That's what I want to know. Who loaded that one? Like, these are all nice. Who loaded that one?
Yeah.
That's clearly not the gun, if you ask me. Walking on down range. 10 millimeter. Yeah. There you go. Rock and roll. There's that group spread out at 25. And there's where your neighbor was.
Yeah.
Not good, man. And the distance increased dramatically. That load.
Yeah.
Nice grouping, though. And then blam. This
Yeah.
is all from previous stuff. The cardboard is, so ignore that. But not that one. Very interesting. Walking on down to 50. Just for documentation.
Really not that bad on 50.
I think your neighbor's way gone somewhere. It's over there, and groupings here. Some of this is from previous, so not much to measure here.
Yeah.
We're gonna hang another target. There you are at 50. Still, she's planting. Not too big of a spread from 25 to 50.
Not really.
It didn't spread out much more. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The one off in La La Land, I guess.
Yeah.
That's that. So we're gonna hang another target and see what she does. All right, Federal Fusion, 200 grain. We wish we would have brought some more 200 grain today. During the kind of the world events right now, ammo's getting a little harder to put our hands on, and we just brought what we had. We're not testing all ammo today, but this is why we have the Ransom Rest, so you can go out and do your own testing. But there's some Federal Fusion, 200 grain. It's finally a hollow point instead of just an FMJ, and we're gonna see what she does. 200 grain, bonded soft point. So, rock it. Fire in the hole. Jeez. Yeah, that recoiled it up, right up. All right, 1233 on velocity. About 7 o'clock on the 9 ring, is it? Yeah. All right, round 2. Just over that one. 1230 on velocity, round 3. Same hole. Round 4. Pretty well same hole. It is the same hole. Round 5. Just low of that one. Round 6. Same hole. Round 7. Just right of round 4. And round 8.
Wow.
Oh, just up of that.
Wow.
I'd be a Yankee Doodle if it wasn't for the first hand rack. We'd have one freaking hole. Just want to do 8 more on the same spot. Let's go down range and see what she measures. Patient.
Like 200 grain.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know your gun.
Hand rack was over here, and I called it out. Just those 10 millimeter, you're under 875. Let's see if I can squeeze a 750. You're definitely a 3/4. Look at that. Now with our last 2 rounds, our first and last, we're 1.75 inches total. If you discount your hand rack, which we don't discount anything, but just for sake of discussion, you're at 875 by 875. You're under 1 inch. 875 by 875. Very impressive. And we knew this gun would like 200 grain, and we just wanted to throw a bunch of ammo out of it today so you know what she does. We saved this one for last because they had a pretty good idea what this gun would run. This shows you their build right there. That hand rack is the reason for that. We're probably going to do another set. We'll see. Let's walk down the range. Okay, guys, even at 25, it's not one jagged hole. There's no question about the hole. You're looking at 1 5/8", 625. Yeah, 625's right there, 1 5/8". Okay, by just under 1 5/8". There you have it. There's that one round, that hand rack way over there. But you're 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. That one puts it about the 2.5, 3. But once again, there's a comparison to my hand. I mean, anybody wants to discount that, but that's that hand rack flyer. Let's wander down. We probably should have moved our 50-yard target at some time, but we just held it up here and slung it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's all 8 rounds right there. So that's clearly all 8 rounds. This is a used target and everything else we've had today. So discount a lot of those, but you're under 1 inch, 3 3/4 for all of them. by under 3 3/4. You can bring this overall 2 5/8, 625, 2 5/8, just slightly over 2 5/8 because of those 2 rounds. But there's a 2 5/8. Once again, as comparison, all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is all right here. It's clearly right there, all under my palm of my hand. There's 3.5 for comparison. 3.5. There you have it. Down to battery. Wrecking the slide. Alrighty. Fire in the hole. Alright, round 2. Right on top of that. Round 3. Split the differences. Right, round 4. Same hole. Right, round 5. Same hole. Round 6. And round 7. And round 8. When this go cold, we'll go down range, see what that looks like. Okay, this is just some Federal Fusion 200 grain. We definitely want to test this gun with some other 200 grain. We showed what ammo weight had a lot to do with it, and this gun really doesn't like the 180 grain. And we see that in guns all the time. It doesn't like one weight grain or the other. None of the 180 we ran in this thing was super impressive. Arm score was okay. The Fiocchi was okay, but definitely nothing beat the 200 grain out. This 17 rounds at under 2 inch. Can I get an 1 3/4? 1 3/4. Definitely 1 3/4 from center to center. And 1 3/4 from center to center, from max to max. Discounting that first hand rack flyer of our second group there. So for whatever reason, this is our first hand rack of our first one and our second. But once that gun settled back down, she was right there. Yep, the forces applied when you hand rack is not the same forces as when it auto cycles. I don't care how hard you hand rack it, it's not the same forces as when it auto cycles. That's 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. 17 rounds, pretty well one jagged hole. Very small grouping. We'd love to test this with some more 200 grain ammo. We just didn't bring it today. So stay tuned for more testing of this. And nice group. Come here, guys. What you think? Not bad at all, huh?
No, very happy with that 200 grain grouping.
Let's pull this just to see what all the ammo did today. Just curiosity, right?
Yeah.
This is with all ammo today. Look, all the ammo we tested today under the hand. I mean, can we even count that up right now? 200 rounds or something? There you have it, all right there. We had a funky flyer over here where we neighbor, and we have the funky hand rack flyer at the end. So clearly we have the neighbor flyer and the other neighbor flyer in the
funky flyer
right now. But everything else is pretty well one big jagged hole. There's no question that gun absolutely shoots all day long. And then the stapler, shoot man, we're not even as accurate with our staples as that gun was. So there you have it. Thanks for coming out today.
Thanks very
I say
much.
we get together another time.
Absolutely.
And I really want to test that 9mm.
Oh, we'll get to this.
You guys brought it today. You guys mentioned when we started this test that I'd commented from a previous test we did on an open range. We were just having fun that day, and that was the most accurate Glock 9mm I had tested. You guys said I made that comment. I remember making that comment. And I'm looking forward to testing that 9mm
We'll
another time.
definitely test that another time, and we're going to source a bunch more 200 grain 10mm just to specifically run through this gun.
Up next time, get some different ammo. We're not pulling shots here. This is all factory ammo for just a custom Smith gun. What can you reasonably expect?
Any
And know
store
what to
buy
do.
the ammo off the shelf and have an idea
And
of what to
just-
expect.
And make hits. Make hits all day. All day hits. And that's what it's about. Thank you guys. Looking forward to it. Stay tuned for more videos.
Thank you.